I'm Karolina Stus. I'm from NZIPP, and I've got a really great speaker, guest today, who's going to be our speaker at New Zealand Photography Show 2026. Layton Woodcroft from Layton Video. Hello, everyone. Hi, Layton. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about yourself and how have you started your journey and why why video? Have you ever done the stills or how did that everything how that happened?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm predominantly video, but the way that I got into this was a funny story actually. My wife had a burger account when we lived in Manchester. We'd go to restaurants, we'd review them, and we'd take photos. Just starting on an iPhone, back when Instagram was just a photo platform. And she wanted to up the quality of this as this page started to gain traction. So she bought a camera and she went to a one-day photography class and she learned
Mm-hmm.
how to use a camera. And she's actually the person who taught me how to, use a camera, aperture, shutter speed, ISO, all of these things. And yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then from there, we wanted to
Okay.
keep traveling and go around Asia. We did quite a few countries, but that was basically our main aim, and we wanted to document that. So that then turned into me filming and editing every single day because obviously I was traveling, I didn't have a job. Like I could really dive into the craft, and I really did fall in love with it. But then coming back to England, we wanted to move to New Zealand, and it just didn't seem like an option at the time. I was a Sparky, I was an electrician, so I was like, that's on the short skills list. Let's go over there and do that instead.
Yes.
Sold all my camera equipment like an idiot, but a few years later, I kind of came to a crossroads, and I'm like, I want to give this another go. Social media was definitely it had definitely evolved by that point. Back when we first started, it was like a bit of YouTube, like Reels wasn't a thing, like it was very infant in like where it was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then I started doing free videos for people who own businesses. Luckily, I had a few friends who had businesses, so I managed to create like a portfolio. That then turned into me leaving my job, going full time with videography. Um, and then I started to do more stills. I started to do more content strategy, like the how and the why, and like more of like a complete experience for people. I didn't
Yes.
do the videos and the photos, give them, and then that's it. I wanted to really kind of like
Okay.
take them on a journey. And so to kind of try and market myself, I started a daily series. I did 400 days in a row, built my following to a considerable amount. Through that came some kind of demand on the education side of things, how I was doing it so consistently to such a high level. And yeah, now I'm kind of in a place where with that, I kind of do a bit more one-on-one coaching. That's like my main thing at the moment, like really trying to take people on those first steps. Or even if you're
Mm-hmm.
so far into your journey, there's always things you can learn. There's always things that can push you in the right direction because it's always changing. And another thing, it's never too late. You could have a following years ago and it's not quite where it is. You can still go again. Or you might be starting
Yeah.
from absolutely zero and you can still make something. Like it's not too late, which I think a lot of people do think it is.
Okay.
So
So
between that,
how
sorry,
yeah. So
sorry, just
how
like like an
yes.
overview, just to finish this off. As like an overview, I do one-on-one coaching. I have videographer clients. I do brand deals, UGC events, all of these different things. So
Yeah,
that's
you do so many.
that.
But my thing, and I think for a lot of people, is like, how did you manage to? Because when I look and scroll through your Instagram, like you do all those videos of yourself, and you're in a shop, and you're still putting it up there and filming it, and how to break that, how to actually be able to brave enough to put it up there, film it, and like people are looking at you and be that consistent because you've got all those posts every day, so you need to make that content. And like, what drives you? How you manage to be like, like so consistent and have that discipline to put it up there and face it and break that fear of putting yourself out there.
Well, I think I would be in the same position as a lot of people are now, thinking like, how could you do that? People watching you, and I think what it is that the idea that in your head is so much worse. Your brain always kind of goes to the worst case scenario. But in reality, when you do put up videos or you put your camera in a shot, the reality is I go in there and just say, hey, I'm just filming something for a daily video. Am I okay? They're like, yeah, cool. Or they'll be like, yeah, you can, but like, just make sure you don't get this. Or they'll be like, no, that's the worst that can happen. They say no.
Okay.
Most of the time, they're just curious and they're like, yeah, yeah, go ahead. And then you do it and you're like, oh my God, that felt great. I did that. And you realize it wasn't actually as bad as you thought in your head. So I guess
Okay.
through repetition and doing it and just having that initial experience, just like putting yourself out there, it is scary. But once you do it, you come out the other side and you're like, oh, I'm fine. Nothing happened. It's great. And you kind of free yourself up a little bit and you're not as in your head. And when you're not as in your head and you do it consistently, you have those two things. You're not really thinking too much about it and you're consistent, you can then be way more creative.
Okay. Because yeah, I struggle. I struggle a lot with that, and I'm do it for 2 weeks, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
So because you also need to have that. So yeah, this is amazing that you and it's so much knowledge also at your Instagram. So that's really, really cool. So you do all that because you want to you teach and stuff, but do you still do something that excites you, or is it anything, that you still would want to do, and something that you're driven to, like this is my goal, something that I would like to achieve?
Kind of like my main aim, what I want. I
Yeah,
get
or something that like I'm very a creative photographer, so I'm always like, oh, what else could I do to not be bored, because I've done that before. So what else, so what else is for you there?
I get I guess my main aim, something that really drives me, is growing up. I didn't think I was creative. I didn't touch a camera till I was 25. I really just didn't think I was creative in that way. I was good at football, and that was pretty much it. So that's all I had. I was like, that's
Okay.
who I am, and I'm a tradie. That's it. I didn't think I was creative. I didn't think I'd ever have the self confidence to even be doing this with you right now, or be on stage, or hosting events, or putting myself online. I never thought I could do that, but just through something in me, like I think it might be working for yourself. I think that lights like a fire underneath you of like, this has to happen because no one's going to do it for you. But
Mm-hmm.
just seeing that transformation in myself and the person I was to who I am now, I think if I could get that feeling to as many people as I can, and help them believe in themselves and tell themselves that they can actually do it.
Yes.
And it's all just the only thing that's really in the way is a bit of consistency and self belief. I
Okay.
mean, especially in terms of the online space, and you're talking to photographers and videographers, all of these people already know how to use a camera. They're already creative. They know how to. They know about composition. They know about colors. They know all the technical stuff. It's just putting into action for themselves, which I know is the hardest thing because you put so much into your client work, so
Yes.
much into your projects you do, and then when it comes to you, you're like, oh, I don't know. It's kind of like when you give advice, you give relationship advice. If it's somebody else, easy. But when it comes to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of like, oh, I don't know. It's kind of like that kind of narrative, or like kind of narrative, I think. So yeah,
Okay.
my main aim is, yeah, trying to help as many people as I can.
Okay. Because and you've got 171K. Where is that camera? Followers. How did that happen? Like, was it a certain point that you start seeing that you're reaching more people?
Yeah, so it was. I mean, it took me a while to get to 10K. I mean, it took me like 6 months of posting every single day to reach 10K, which is a lot. But then I think another 3 months later, I hit 100K. It is really that consistency. And I think the thing is, back then when I was doing that, I didn't know what I know now. So when I'm telling people things now and taking them through it, they have the knowledge of somebody who's done it. I'm saving
Mm-hmm.
I'm saving them all of that time, but it is kind of down to consistency because these apps, TikTok, Instagram, they all want to see that you're turning up. Because if you make one good video and then you go, they don't want that. They want you to keep turning up because they
Okay.
have that data. They know who to push it to. They know you're going to keep coming, and they know ultimately you're going to spend more time on their platforms because that's ultimately what they want because they're businesses. So it happened through consistency and giving people value. That's pretty much it. Those are the two things that you need.
Okay. So it's like with life, with exercising, you just need to be consistent.
Yeah, you can watch as many videos as you want about doing push-ups, but unless you're doing them, you're not gonna, you know what I mean? You're not gonna build any strength.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay. So I think we gave people that little. I don't want to give too much because I think
I'll have
you're
nothing left when I get
crowds
to the
all
top.
over. I'm personally really looking forward to seeing you
Me
um,
too. I look forward to being there.
presenting for us, and yeah, and of course you're a Sony shooter, so our main sponsor for for our conference. So it's yeah, it will be awesome to have you there. So thank you very much for your time, and yeah, see you in Christchurch.
See you there.
Okay, thanks. Bye.